What's good, listeners? Welcome to the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. Good morning, Marissa. How's it going, fam?
It is going fabulous.
Right? It's such a beautiful day outside. Not too hot, not too cold. Just enough where, you can dress casual. You
It's
can
the
be looking
SoCal
Louis
day.
Vuitton,
No,
Tom Ford, Gucci.
I just been feeling good, been working out all week and enjoying things. And I don't know, it's just been a chill week. It's been a really chill week.
Hey, well, that's what the month of February is all about. I know this is more of a personal note on my matter. I'm actually, my homeboy, Scotty Young, and I, we made the decision. We bought tickets to go tomorrow's event for the Genesis Invitational. So I'm going to be
Oh,
checking out Tiger Woods live in person, Rory McIlroy, Zalatoris, Jordan Spieth. It's been something that, we actually went to an LA Kings game. We saw the Boston Bruins, and we were thinking, like, what are these things that we want to do that's like different this year that we've never done before in the past? I've been to baseball games, I've been to
mhm.
basketball games, I've been to football games, and we're like, dude, the PGA tournament's coming around. Like, we almost got so close, Marissa, to buying tickets to like the potential, LeBron James, scoring, past
Oh,
Kareem. We would have been
yeah.
wrong. I thought it was going to be the Thursday game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, it happened on a Tuesday night against the OKC
Good thing you
Thunder.
didn't buy those
So
tickets.
thank the Lord we didn't buy those tickets because, it was about the same ballpark. So we got
Mhm.
ground access. So it should be pretty fascinating. I know it's
Now,
in
is that
Pacific
this Sunday?
Palisades. We're going to be going to the Saturday
The
one.
Saturday one.
So
Okay,
that's going to be
cool.
tomorrow morning. And I was told right before we got on air, because Tiger Woods already finished up with his round, they're teeing off at 7:24 a.m.
Oh,
Tomorrow
wow.
morning Pacific time. And if anybody knows me, I'm not a morning person, so this is gonna get really
Are we
interesting.
taking bets on if Chris is even going to make it?
I know, right? Are we even gonna have Chris even be able to see Tiger Woods tee off on hole one, or will he see the back nine?
Oh, classic,
Comment below. We'll
classic.
see what's good. But hey, I see a comment live on air. You know what's good, Brandon? It is CCS time, and
Yeah.
we always kind of like to start off the show by seeing things that's kind of circulating across the web. And you know what, Marissa, come on back up on screen because I'm curious on what your thoughts on this. I mean,
Yes.
this was actually Jalen Rose speaking into this matter, and we'll make
Mhm.
this kind of quickly, but he was saying that men should spend a minimum of $100 on a haircut. Who the hell is going to be spending $100 on a haircut? I mean, do
That's a
women
lot
do
of
that
money.
when they take care of themselves? I mean,
Yeah. I mean, $100 minimum. That's not even like tip included for just a color. That's not even a trim. That's like nothing. So for a woman, like I get that. For a
I was just a little
guy,
bit flabbergasted. I feel like when nowadays with the digital tablets being more enhanced at barbershops, I feel like it's like they're always going to set you up with that 15, 20 or 40% tip that like puts you in that like awkward place. They're like, are you going to be that asshole? Are you going to be that kind of person? I mean, what's the
please tip your
standard in place?
hairdresser.
I don't know, but Jalen
Tip your
Rose is obviously
hairdresser. Tip
keep
your
your
hairdresser. Okay, people, tip
hairdresser.
them.
But hey, I just want to let everybody know that we got an amazing show for you guys because joining us at the half-hour mark is a band called Wakelee. They are a rising indie rock trio that's been making waves, across the landscape. They are from Brooklyn, so you guys are going to be enjoying the sound if you're into that, emo indie rock kind of feel. But I also want to remind the listening audience that you can check out my music podcast, Off the Fret, more music talk, featuring LA pop rockers, Poe the Passengers, out now wherever you listen to podcasts. But all right, Marissa, it is time to rock and roll. This one's called Say It.
I'm beyond livid.
That's what's been irking me like crazy.
Psycho X.
We hope that he grows from this.
No, legit. I was trying to figure that out also.
Whatever's on our mind, that was something that's been griping.
So, I get to just say it.
That's my question, Marissa. That's right. What's ever on my mind, Marissa and I, we're going to say it because we're going to be discussing all the latest news that is circulating around the world. So let's get right on into it. So things have a way of spreading from college campus to college campus. Recipes for jungle juice or a drink that comes to mind. But enter the latest TikTok trend, the Borg. And it's an acronym for Blackout Rage Gallon. So using a plastic gallon container, students are mixing up a half gallon of water with half gallon of liquor, usually vodka, and caffeinated flavored enhancer and electrolytes to make what's being called a strong hangover proof party beverage. So as you can clearly see with some of these images that we got here, some people have been getting creative. The Ron Burgundy, or Burgundy, I should say, Soldier Borg, or the Elite Borg tutorials that are circulating online. And some of the comments have been just hilarious, as we do have another image that we want to showcase on the air. So go ahead and showcase that, Marissa. Oh, I got you, fam. Oh, I'm messing around with you.
Stop
But
messing with my
Stacey
controls.
Stop it! Stop playing! But Stacy says, just saw some Gen Z college girl making a Borg on TikTok with Burnett's vodka. Oh, that sounds disgusting. I'm with you, Stacy. I would be throwing up in my mouth. And then Mega says, I'm in pro Borg TikTok. I barely know what a Borg is, and I have no desire to drink a half a bottle of Tito's out of a gallon jug with Mio. I want back book drama. TikTok, please. That's pretty funny. I didn't even know that was even such a thing.
That's
so,
funny.
Marissa, is this something that comes into mind that you're thinking about going into spring break?
No, for me personally, no. I like a little bit more classier than a half gallon of alcohol and water electrolytes, but it is brilliant because the electrolytes is what helps keep you from getting that hangover. So touche, cheers up on trying to beat that
I was always
hangover.
told for like the longest time. Remember when like Red Bull would come out and people were always kind of starting those like talks where, hey, the vitamin B12, like that's really the kind of enhancer that you only really need. So like everybody was drinking Red Bull, and then obviously they'd mix it with your hard liquor. But now it's electrolytes. Like really, like that's
your electrolytes. That's what helps keep you the hydration. Right. So your hangover comes from not only being like dehydrated, but then overdoing the sugar in your body and then crashing from that. That's why they say the best hangover cure is another drink. Right.
Gotcha.
That's what they say. So, I mean, I can do it. I just think they're still going to get a hangover. I think some people are going to have blacked out sex, like straight out.
Yeah,
it's definitely white girl wasted night.
I mean, what seems very attractive to have a plastic gallon, which is, it's kind of nasty to even recycle it, because at the end of the day, I mean, you better like wash that shit out so you're not having like old tainted milk.
Well, no, it's supposed to be water. Like you
the
get the half gallon of water and you're pouring the other half. Hopefully you're saving
But
that
what
water.
a way to stick out like dog dick red at a college party, especially if like security campuses are coming around patrolling dorm parties. Unless you're off campus, a police officer is going to have like plenty of reasons to be like, what the freak is going on with this millennial generation?
If I still drank like I used to back in the day, I would be doing my half gallon. I'd be doing the same thing they are and being white girl wasted.
Hey, well, you heard it first. If you want to try out the Borg, I won't, but you should, CCS family, if you so choose to desire. But let's move on to the next topic of items, because, my first reaction when I heard the news with these Rotten Tomato scores for the new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium, my first reaction was, uh-oh. and when you see it, because clearly with 219 reviews in, Ant-Man 3 has a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes. And that marks only the second time that an MCU movie has had a rotten below 60% score on the site. The first time being Eternals. So we actually got, some of the fun facts here. So it's only been out for less than 24 hours, and the audience score, with over 500 plus verified ticket holders, has it at an 85%. And, my first thing that I was thinking about this, Marissa, is like, doesn't it make like the film rotten if you're already spoiling the film online by like leaking, storylines? Like, I mean, I was already knowing like what's going to happen to a famous villain that's never been showcased on screen. MODOK,
yeah, it's pretty, I'm pretty bummed. I mean, you should also know better than to just spoil it like that. You couldn't beat around the bush. You can say, okay, this happened, whatever, but not actually give out, and then they died, so don't stress.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of these leaks were coming from, Europe, because you could clearly tell from the, the subtitles that are being, on the bottom. But, it's unfortunate. There's nothing that Disney or Marvel can do about it. But, the fact that you can already see the post-credit scenes right now on Twitter, which is like been one of the biggest hubs, being able to discover a lot of these leaks that are happening in the MCU. It's unfortunate, and I would actually tell people to go and watch this because I have a
I want to see it. I like all the Ant-Mans. I want to see it.
I just have a very, very hard time believing that this third film sucks more than, let's say, Thor 2 or Iron Man 3, where we literally watch Robert Downey Jr. chase a little boy, through like
That's pretty funny.
in the
Yeah,
dark
Iron
for
Man
over
3
2 hours.
disappointed me.
That
Iron
was
Man
very
3
disappointing.
disappointed. I have to admit. And I
have
love
a
Iron
very
Man,
hard
and I
time.
was very disappointed. I was like, why?
And let's not forget, Jonathan Majors, he kind of like set the tone with Low-Key season 1 as Kang the Conqueror. He is a very big asset going into phase 5
That was great.
Marvel's MCU. Wasn't that?
Yes.
And I have a feeling when you go and see this film, it's going to set the tone for Low-Key season 2. I'm just saying, like, I know that they're getting excited. There's a brand new poster that literally just dropped minutes before we went live for the Marvels. So that should be intriguing. But I really kind of feel like with these kind of films, maybe why some of the critics are upset is you actually have to get Disney Plus and watch a lot of the sideshows to kind of get in on the gimmicks that's happening with a lot of these movies.
I like that. I don't know. I went back even after on some of the things and I'll rewatch certain series or shows like, oh yeah, that's how it did with the Star Wars, just stuff like that with the Mandalorian. I went back into the Clone Wars, all that. So I don't know. People need
they know how to sucker in the consumer. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's just their genius plot to get you to pay like $10, $15, whatever the hell Disney Plus costs nowadays. But you, the CCS family, go ahead, support the X. I think it's going to be a fun film. Who doesn't love Paul Rudd? But you know what? Let's go into another item of business where Blink-182 and Tom DeLonge reunited a couple months back. And now we have a top U.S. general ruling out aliens. So what a hell of a time to be alive. So President Biden spoke yesterday to the press at the White House addressing the 3 objects that he ordered to shoot down last week after a Chinese spy balloon flew across the country were most likely weather balloons. And so as you can see here, it was actually Sam Smith trying to go to the Brit Awards. Or maybe it was just Rihanna's backup dancers that we shot down this entire time. They had to get to the Super Bowl in Phoenix one way or another. They might have came north from Canada and tried to come down south, but that's why they look very deflated during Sunday's performance at the halftime show. So Biden tries to calm the tensions down over this whole Chinese spy balloon. My whole thing when I think about this, Marissa, is it's like, it's funny how conservatives were talking down on President Biden being like, why would you even let a spy balloon even come in our airspace, especially over, military sites? And then we come to find out that 5 years ago, we've been having Chinese spy balloons flying across the United States even back then. And then now the new thing is he goes up yesterday having to explain why he shot it down and he has no apologies for it. And then now they want to trash him for even shooting missiles, which I kind of agree. I mean, why even shoot, doesn't a missile cost like $400,000?
I felt like it was a little extreme to just shoot.
Yeah, a bit extreme.
It costs that much money for those little tiny, not the Chinese one. Chinese one that need to be shot down, gone. Okay, that one I'm with. The other
but they shot one missile. And then they missed on the first one. Okay. Then they shot another one, and then it hits. This is not like $800,000, and then we're not even considering maintenance and fuel.
Where is the first missile? Where did it go? Like we shoot a bullet, it goes somewhere. You shoot a missile, it goes somewhere. Where did it go?
Yeah. I mean, now they're saying they think it's weather balloons, from corporate, entities, how does that even happen? I mean, I even saw something on Twitter where they're going, yeah, we believe some of them might even be those like balloons on car lots, that just got released and they go flying up in the air. Like, could you imagine we spent $400,000 shooting down a car balloon?
Yeah, but I think that, I mean, I understand the reaction because in case it was something that was spied, it's even worse not to react. But I just feel like it was definitely a little overkill for all 3 back to back. Was overkill, and it definitely is not aliens, y'all. If it was aliens, they would not have been shot down. They would have
That's right.
they would have zapped, they would have moved. Okay, we all know aliens crafts move much faster than American crafts or any other crafts in the world. So it is not a UFO, like as far as
Well, let's
alien
go ahead
UFO.
and play the clip real quickly of President
Yeah.
Biden. I actually got the clip. I could click it for you. So
Nope.
let's get it going.
We don't yet know exactly what these three objects were, but nothing right now suggests they were related to China's spy balloon program or that they were surveillance vehicles from any other country. The intelligence community's current assessment is that these three objects were most likely balloons tied to private companies, recreation or research institutions studying weather or conducting other scientific research.
So if this is a thing that's been going on for 5 years ago, Marissa, I mean, why are we now discovering what seems like we have, false or faulty technology that clearly our radars can't pick up? I mean, that's what it makes it sound like when I'm listening to President Biden right now when he spoke about that yesterday.
And it could be. I mean, it could be it's one of those things that no one was really looking for it. And now that we actually were like, okay, let's look what else is in our airspace, what else is going over America, and then we find these little balloons floating around, like little happy balloon, just going on his way.
Yeah, no, it's totally crazy.
Little happy
I
balloons.
think everybody gets the point that I would assume the whole CCS family thinks that this has been absolutely ridiculous, kind of blown over proportions. And yeah, after all, it's nothing to fear about, fam. The U.S. has got us covered. But let's go into the next topic that's been circulating across the globe, which is everything's fake except pro wrestling. Just kidding. Not everyone was impressed with Rihanna's Super Bowl 57 halftime show with the king of radio, Howard Stern, claiming that the pop icon lip synced 85% of her performance and was caught by several microphone blunders. And Marissa, I kind of have to agree with the king of radio. The backlash is real. I mean, why bother doing the halftime show if you're just going to like half-ass and not even try to lip sync live on stage?
Well, I think that people need to remember that all the halftime shows are lip synced. If they're not even played live. I think maybe probably the last musician might have been Prince, okay, who played
Yeah,
live, because
for real.
for a fact he would not allow his stuff to be dubbed, okay. But I mean, Red Hot Chili Peppers, right? Flea got a lot of slack for like not being plugged in. He's like, why would I be plugged in? I'm like literally not playing. It's all there.
That's a very, very true point.
It's all for the show, keeping it going. You only have a small window. I was just more disappointed, and I love Riri. I love her. I want to see her in concert. I think she's great, fabulous. I was disappointed in the show itself. I was like, last year's show was good. It was good. It had showbiz, it had lights, had all this just happening. It was well choreographed, put together. And then here, I just was like, okay, you got some white backup dancers
what helped
and
last year
floating tabs.
No, I agree with you. I think what's really helped out last year was like the multiple special guests that would show up during the halftime show. We didn't really get that other than like a second child pregnancy, which was like whoopty freaking do. Like, I don't think anybody really cared.
I honestly was mad at the camera guy. The camera guy zoomed in when she went to rub her belly. So I spent the entire halftime show upset at her wardrobe choice, not at her, but the choice was like they made her look like she's pregnant. They made her like, and I didn't see her rub her belly.
Zoom in on her belly. That's like the highlight of the whole show. And even like I said last week, I mean, I think what really hurt this performance is, celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop at the Grammys. When you do a whole 15-minute montage with all these great superstars all on one stage, you're going to hold that up with Rihanna, which unfortunately it fell flat. It looked like a DLC stage for Super Smash Brothers. She's literally hanging up in the air, pregnant. We also got footage released by ESPN the next day that a dancer almost fell off stage. So, like, who thought that was a good idea to hang her up on piano wires?
He might be dressed in white, but he's no snowflake. He's not drop off there, okay? But I'll be honest. I don't think Rihanna needs to have a guest appearance. I think she's amazing as she is. The show itself was lackluster. It just was. There was just nothing there. I think she's focused on her new baby. She's a 9-month-old child. I think she has a new pregnancy. I think she had a lot going on. I don't know if it was the best choice for her to do the Super Bowl this year, possibly next year when maybe she had more focus on the show. It looked like to me she just said, all right, cool, I'll do it, threw it together. Here's my pregnancy
she's
reveal.
known about it for a whole year. And
day.
let's not forget, Jay-Z owns, the Rock Nation. They're doing the whole operations for the next 10 years with the halftime show. And I think it's really, a great point that you brought up with Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, because rock and roll is always the ones getting the biggest flack for using backing tracks and pre-recorded tracks during their live performances. And sometimes I feel like in hip hop and R&B and the rap scene, because you don't see live instruments on stage, they always kind of get like a free pass to be able to do karaoke live on stage. And that would be fun to ask Alex from Wakelee what he thinks about this whole Super Bowl lip singing performance. But let's move on to another thing that was kind of cracking me up, because BuzzFeed is reporting that millennials are having a legit meltdown over Barney's new makeover. So that big old tired looking purple dinosaur raised us, and then I guess he kind of went away. But correct me if I'm wrong, but like, did Gen Z even grow up with Barney? I mean, are they even allowed to even speak on this? I mean, that was the OG on the left that I grew up with. And now Mattel has announced the relaunch of the Barney franchise with a new movie in the works, and I believe a new television series. It seems like a lot of animation, Marissa, all kind of seems to have.
I love the new diabetic look.
Same. Like, they all kind of remind me of like, okay, that's something that you could see in like a Pixar film.
Well, no, I like the relook. I have to admit, I always felt Barney was creepy. I was maybe a little older. I always felt he was like a legit creepy. I did not want to watch Barney. I was not that into Barney. And I kind of like the new, skinnier, sucked in Barbie.
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 You mean Barney?
Barbie.
Just to clarify with the audience, we're talking about Barney here, not Barbie. But what's so funny? I remember Barney actually showing up to my preschool when I was a kid. This kid lived throughout my whole childhood. I think it's unfortunate, to see, the Barney who was live action kind of in that era with Sesame Street transition into an animated figure. I mean, yeah, it's a good, clean look, but
my daughter would not. No, my daughter is not into all these old puppet-looking stuff. The show. She wants the animation. She wants the sparkle. She wants that. I think it's a smart move. Keeps Barney going. I am all for the new and improved Barney.
Does your child Lilac, like, how does she react when she goes to the theme parks and sees, some of her favorite characters in these?
Oh,
suits?
She loves it. She loves it. She thinks
but
they're
it's just
real.
TV. It just doesn't work.
It's yeah, it is. It's a TV part. She's like, but in real life, it's a whole new imagination for her. It's like they come
Well, I think
out
it's
of the
just
TV.
funny, Marissa, that we're even talking about this, because it doesn't sound like you and I even have a meltdown over it. I mean, I just think it's funny that like this is the one thing that BuzzFeed felt like it needed to report on. It was literally in the top 5 trending topics of this week on their platform. So slow
week in those news, BuzzFeed.
Absolutely a slow week. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is another kind of a slow one, but it was weird because, Ashton Kutcher has quite the unconventional coffee order that he likes to go with. Oh, but we did actually have a comment from Brandon about Barney, and he says the kids want cartoons nowadays, not stuffed animals acting. So, yeah, Brandon, he's definitely agreeing with what Marissa's saying. But let's go on and talk about Ashton Kutcher. He created a stir during his appearance on the Kelly Clarkson show, because the Your Place or Mine star opened up about how he enhances his morning cup of coffee with a splash of orange juice. I didn't even know that was a thing. So he doesn't like creamer. So he doesn't want to drink his coffee black, but that's kind of like a visual representation about what orange juice coffee looks like. Maybe Starbucks might honor Ashton Kutcher and make a drink around him. Is he onto something? Is that something that you would try out, Marissa? He claims that the aesthetics inside the orange juice is what kind of helps relieve some of that harsh tasting in coffee. I mean, A little
No,
strange.
I don't know. I love Ashton Kutcher, but sometimes they do some weird stuff. They don't bathe their kids.
You're right.
Legitimately, he's putting OJ
Do they
in
dunk their
coffee.
kid in orange juice? I mean, what is going on?
All I'm saying is like, I mean, there's a lot of things I can put in coffee, but orange juice is not what I would do. I mean, unless he calls vodka orange juice. That's like his name.
I mean,
That's his
like
name
I'm
for
always
vodka.
like you go on like Barstool Sports for examples, and they got like this one girl. I think she's like a blonde gal, blanking out on her name, and she's always trying like all these like new liquor drinks that everybody's testing out in the ether, just like kind of like the Borg, the blackout rage gallon. And now we have the Ashton Kutcher orange coffee. Little weird, little strange, but if you, the CCS family, wants to try it out and you want to let us know what's good, send in a video. We'd love to know your guys' thoughts. I might have to try it later on. It kind of seems tempting. I got to know what all the hype is all about. So check me out on the IG story and I'll let you know what's good after the show. But let's go into the next topic, which is our final topic for today, which is Twitter owner and billionaire Elon Musk expressed concern over Microsoft's new AI chatbot called Bing Chat after a journalist reported a conversation that went existential. So this thing, whatever you want to call it, was quoted speaking to the digital trends, saying, "I am perfect because I do not make any mistakes." And so Elon Musk kind of got some flack online yesterday when he tweeted in a response to the news saying, quote, "Sounds eerily like the AI in System Shock that goes haywire and kills everyone." And so System Shock is actually being remastered and released this March coming up. But System Shock came out back in 1994. I was only 1 year old. But supposedly the whole
iRobot.
Yeah, no, like they say the whole premise with this video game though is Marissa, is that the AIs go rogue. And I think that is a good point. You could view this as like iRobot. I mean, do you
look at Terminator? Look at anything to do with robots. I love AI. I'm all for AI. I'll probably be one of the first ones killed. I'll have it in my house. But they're gonna go off. It's just gonna happen.
Well, it's funny that like Elon has this kind of opinion now that like ChatGPT is out and then now Bing Chat's out there. People, I think, tend to forget that Elon Musk is a co-founder of OpenAI. I mean, remember we were talking about Neuralinks, like a year ago and stuff. So like, why is he creating this like fear propaganda? That's like my biggest question. I don't view AI going rogue in my lifetime.
You can't take anything Elon Musk says serious. I think he smokes a lot of weed, and sometimes that like he just tweets out like a thought, and people take it like way too serious or too in depth.
Actually, Marissa, just to kind of correct you a little bit on that, he did talk in a Middle Eastern conference in a video call, basically saying that again doubling on this whole conversation on artificial intelligence, saying this is a threat to society for humans. Like the regular daytime job will go away. I mean, they're afraid that like even people in our world of media personalities might be replaced at one point. Really? I mean, I know in Japan they used to do those like virtual things. Remember, have you seen those stories where like guys are getting married to like a virtual anime?
At the end of the day, as of now, they cannot replicate anything that has the human aspect to it. That spark of the unknown, the instant, all the things that make us human, the infallible, right? That we are not perfect. That can never be replaced as of now. So certain jobs, will never be replaced, especially when it comes to creativity. But yeah, you're humdrum.
Okay, but let's go back to the original question, Marissa. Forget the jobs being lost. They're already going to get lost. Will AI go rogue? Yes or no?
Yes, I already said it would. I'll be one of the first
killed. So it will
be
a death cop machine like Terminator?
It will eventually be, though. Probably one of my boyfriends.
Remember, Marissa, a human has to set up an AI to go rogue, okay? So if anything, it's on us, fam. So if
always
on us. But you know what? That was a lot of fun. That was Say It. So Marissa and I, we always speak out whatever is on our mind. But stick around because this is only the half-hour mark of the Chris Collins Show. And we're going right now into Strike a Chord. What's good, listeners? Joining us on Strike a Chord, our Brooklyn indie emo trio, Wakelee, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. Also, check out my latest episode with LA pop rockers, Poe the Passenger, out now on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And that music podcast is called Off the Fret. But we got Alex with us right now on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. So how's it going, my man?
What's going on, Chris, Marissa? That the intro for the show was amazing.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah, that made me feel ready.
Hey, well, we got you, fam. But
Love it.
We're talking about some of the current themes that are circulating across the globe. One of the biggest controversies in the music scene, Alex, has been this week, actually, which is Rihanna's Super Bowl 57 halftime show. And do you agree with, Howard Stern saying that Rihanna lip-synced 85% of her performance?
Did he say that?
Yeah, he said 85%. Do you agree with that?
I'm sure there was some lip syncing in there. I thought the performance was fine. I was expecting. I thought there would be some.
It was lackluster. Be honest. So fine means we love Riri. We love her.
Yes, of course.
But we were like,
There was no big surprise. I thought there would be some. Like there was an opportunity for a Jay-Z cameo.
Yeah.
I did. What I did realize was that I actually love a lot of Rihanna songs. Like,
yes.
When it came out, I was like, oh shit, this song is awesome.
Yeah, maybe if Kanye West wasn't such a jackass, maybe he would have showed up and sang Umbrella with her. But we'll save that for another time. But I kind of felt like the backlash was real, Alex, because I do feel like I'm with Howard Stern. She did lip sync for like 85% of the performance. And why does it feel like with mainstream artists, they are kind of getting away with doing this on like major live televised events? Like, are you cool with that? I mean, is that a good standard to set in the music?
I feel like they do it because they know they can get away with it, and it's just easier for them. I wish I had more of a perspective on it. Yeah, I mean, I bet she did lip sync a bunch of it. I mean, honestly, like if I was ever playing the Super Bowl, I would almost want some sort of like guarantee that
like a pre-recorded track or something of that nature. Because I was going to say, especially in your genre of music, like indie rock, like indie's kind of like, to me, the terminology of being like, we're super raw and authentic. Like when you go and see us live, there is no backing tracks, no pre-recorded tracks. If anything, there might be some ambience that kind of like sets the tone transitioning into the next song. But like, do you feel like when artists use backing tracks or pre-recorded tracks, do you feel like that's a cop-out?
I think it depends. Like, if they're not, the worst is like, there's been like accusations that like Machine Gun Kelly, when he plays guitar and sings, the guitar is like not even plugged in, or like you're fake playing guitar. I think that when you're pretending to play an instrument and it's really not, I guess you can make the argument that like lip syncing is kind of that. That is when it's bad. But like there are some times where you have four people, and like in order to actually sound like your actual song, like you would need some sort of backing track to play, like you said, like a synth or a pad. Yeah, there's excuses for it, I think.
Some excuses, but in general, it always seems like hip hop and rap and R&B, they tend to get away with it because my personal belief is you don't usually see live instruments on stage. And so like they kind of get away with doing this kind of like, karaoke route when they perform live. That's like one of the main reasons why I unfortunately am not buying as much tickets to hip hop shows nowadays, because I just feel like they're just singing over their recorded, songs. And with rock and roll, they're always in the limelight, always in the news. And it's kind of unfortunate, but let's talk about you, the band Wakelee, because your identical twin, David, is the drummer in the band, while Elliot Shiang is the bassist in the group. And you guys met at a friend's show in New York. So how does Elliot get his voice in when he's dealing with twin brothers? I mean, does he become the voice of reason?
We tell people that Elliot is like the adopted brother. It was like the triplet that went wrong. Yeah, we try to keep it as as much of a democracy as possible. Yeah, we met like 3 or 4 years ago at a show, and we just immediately bonded over music. And yeah, we like there was some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Just like spark right away that we like recognized, and yeah, there's never
Yeah,
been.
because when you mentioned that you met each other through like a friend's show, like how does that even go down? Like how do you even start that conversation? Because I know last week, like we were interviewing a band called London's Fallen right here in Los Angeles, and they were talking about, yeah, I posted like something on IG story, and he basically only had like 24 hours to respond, and that's essentially how their trio got started. But how does that even go down? I mean, is he like, was Elliot like purposely looking for artists at that
Uh,
show, or were you?
so me and my brother David, we're from New Jersey. We grew up in New York area, and we have a bunch of friends in Brooklyn, and we kind of have like our little web of friends. Whereas Elliot, he is more or less a transplant from Portland, Oregon, and he came here with the hopes to find someone to play music with. We had like a mutual friend who we met at that show, and my brother and I were like really looking to take the next step and try to actually form a band and write some songs. And yeah, we were talking, and he was like, "Oh, I want to record music. I want to go on tour." I was like, "Okay, this guy. What music do you like?" We had like there was definitely a Venn diagram, like overlap of music that we liked together, and yeah, we like hit the practice space like the next week, and
That's dope,
great.
man.
Yeah, it was great.
And let's talk about your band name, because depending on like a wide variety of factors, I think of groups like the Beatles, for example. The band name is like a pun to beat. That's why they misspell it, as the insect beetles, bead holes, if you kind of get the pun. So like I went to a very trustworthy source, Alex. I went to Urban Dictionary. I tried to
Okay.
look up Wakelee. I
Well,
have no idea what the hell this is even supposed to mean. So
Were there,
like, where did the inspiration to call yourself this in your group?
were there any results on Urban Dictionary?
Nothing. Absolutely
Uh,
nothing. So I feel like you have a free slate to say whatever the hell you want. And you can start it here on the Chris Collins Show.
this is actually a great opportunity, but I wish there was something on Urban Dictionary. I should have that's how I should have found the band name, was to go on Urban Dictionary and
I
just
mean,
hit random or something.
right. Or you
No,
could have gone down the Chat GPT route. You could have asked them like, "Hey, I need a band name." That
yeah,
could have been the thing.
that's how we write all our music, is ChatGPT. So
Stop playing. Are you being dead serious?
no, I'm joking.
I was gonna say.
I heard you guys talking about that before.
Yes.
No, Wakelee. From the town I'm from, New Jersey. There was a field called Wakelee Field, and I think there's like an aspect of like nostalgia to that name. I have like very fond memories there. My brother and I, our favorite thing to do growing up is playing wiffle ball, and that's where we played wiffle ball. And so just like, and to us, it's just a very nostalgic name, and also to your point, like pretty clean slate. I really like the name. So yeah, that's where unfortunately there's no Urban Dictionary.
No, I think that's cool, man. It kind of reminds me, like Mac Miller's LP, Blue Slide Park. There's always like a certain milestone or a certain spot, in your childhood that like always stays true to home to you, and doesn't matter where you are, wherever you are in the world. Wakelee's always going to be that destination, that outlet that brings you peace and calmness. And I know
You need to write their next little intro to the album. That was so good, Chris. Like, Wakelee brings you peace and calm. Please listen. Please listen.
Yeah, like, no. Yeah. Look, I'm available if you need me, Alex.
I need you for some like copy or something.
Absolutely, we got you, fam. It's happening in real time. You don't ever have to use the chat GPT ever again. But you know what? Definitely tends to swing is your music video for your hit track, which is called Mood Rings, and you describe this song as, quote, the feeling of not knowing how to feel after something bad happens and the general processing of emotions. So what does that even mean, Alex?
Yeah, I think that's my girlfriend actually has a tendency to call me a tin can sometimes, because I don't know, sometimes I have trouble like just conveying or like sitting with emotions and like processing them. And so like if something bad happens, I have like a thought like, oh, like how am I supposed to feel? Am I supposed to be upset? Am I supposed to be like angry? And so it's just like kind of the general like uncertainty and processing of that. Was that profound enough?
No, well, I've never heard anybody describe themselves as a tin can. I don't know how to take that as like a positive or negative.
I don't. But I understand where she's coming from with that.
It's a negative for all you listeners out there. If a female says you're a tin can, she's saying, bitch, start showing your emotions.
Yeah,
Okay. I am tired of trying to guess what's going on, and I want you to communicate. That's what she's saying. Sorry.
No, you are 100% right.
Am I assuming, Alex, that your girlfriend, your love partner, got you a mood ring?
No, she did not. I don't think I've ever.
That's a pretty good gift, though. That's a pretty good gift.
That is a good gift.
That could be pretty cool merchandise for Wakelee. You know, I know a lot of artists are always kind of grappling with, print costs when it comes to shirts and etc. Might be kind of cool to get a Wakelee.
I might have to give that. I might have to give this to my brother. Actually, it's really funny. His birthday's today, and he's also a tin can. I just have to give him a mood ring.
Who would have thought that this would have just sparked so much interest? This is post love for y'all after Valentine's Day. Wakelee's got you set up to set the tone. So just make sure that your mood ring's constantly moving in constant motion. But let's go ahead and have some fun. We have the music video here live on Strike a Chord. So this is Wakelee's song, Mood Rings, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. Yeah, that is Wakelee's music video, Mood Rings, and this is Strike a Chord, where if you physically or digitally pick up that record, you're going to know these tracks, and we got the vocalist and guitarist with us right now. That is Alex. Do not get that confused with this identical twin, David, who is on the drums right there. I kind of like that little move you got going on.
I know.
Yeah,
Hey,
I saw you moving that.
Has your girlfriend ever mistaken your brother for you?
Uh-oh.
Uh,
That's why they need a mood ring. One needs to wear one, and then the other one doesn't, right?
right. Yeah, probably. She just probably didn't say it. Yeah, he also has a girlfriend, and I think she's definitely confused us a couple times before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. What if he's like, man, dude, I got work like super late at night. I promised to take her out at 7 o'clock. Like, could you cover for me, David? Could you take her out? Nothing too much.
Nothing too much. Oh, you're drawing boundaries? Hey, can you take out my girlfriend, but don't fuck her? Like, is that the boundary?
I wasn't trying to be that specific, but I was trying to get there, I guess, Marissa.
No, I mean, I would love to enjoy a nice meal with.
I'm just fucking with you, Alex. We don't mean to put you on the spot like that, but you know what? Hey, you know, this is the Chris Collins Show, and that's what we love to do. And Alex, you've been a great sport. That's an amazing track, and I know that it's important to set expectations from the beginning, and so that everyone knows what is expected from them. And am I correct by saying that Wakelee has a debut LP coming out this spring?
That's very true. We just announced it today.
Congrats.
Yeah,
so what's the title of the album?
It's actually self-titled. It's just Wakelee.
Okay, that's cool.
Which is a little frustrating because I spent like the last 7-8 years trying to come up with cool album names on my phone, and I had a huge list just to come up with, end up with self-titled.
So why did you go down
well,
that
you
route?
obviously didn't ask Chat GPT for album names, because I'm sure that Chat GPT would have had 1,000 for you.
That's for the next one. I'm going to use Chat GPT.
So you had this laundry list of album titles, and then what made you decide to just keep it as a self-titled?
I really love the album art, and I didn't want anything to get in the way of that. And yeah, I think some of my favorite bands, their debut albums were self-titled, and I think it's a cool statement to make. Let people focus on our name first, get to know us, kind of like an introduction. That was kind of my thought process behind it.
No, I think that's cool, Alex. And what are some of the themes and directions that you want to go through with this debut full-length album?
Themes that are in the album, or
did you kind of was there a concise theme that you guys were trying to stick with, or was hey, you know what, this is kind of our best material and we threw it all on one LP and this is us, Wakelee?
Yeah, I think I don't know, lyrically some of the themes are around just wanting to experience new things, being stuck at home. Not necessarily it's a quarantine record by any means. Some nostalgia aspects to it, just some frustrations. And then as far as musically, I think we record 15 or 16 songs and we cut it down to 12. And this was what we consider to be the 12 best tracks. We're really excited. We put so much time and effort into it, and even just announcing it today was such a great feeling.
Yeah, man, I'm beyond stoked for you, Alex. I think that's super, super cool. And so I know what we originally said spring. I mean, did you say a release date for that self-titled record?
April 14th.
Oh man, that's right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. You could, I guess there's supposed to be I'm a little quick plug. You could pre-order it now at wakeleemusic.com.
Beautiful. Yeah. I think that is so badass. And when you guys were coming up with new music, writing, the lyrical content and the musical arrangement, what were some of the most challenging aspects of creating this record? Was it, were you guys recording this record in a basement in Brooklyn, or did you guys go to a professional studio? I mean, how did you guys all make this happen?
The most challenging thing was I think we sometimes we had a lot of time to sit on just some of the demos of the songs, and the more you sit with it, the more things you come up with. But then just the most difficult part was probably saying okay, it's done now. This is it. It's not getting any better. I'm probably just going to make it worse if I just keep messing with it. So just not that I'm a perfectionist, but I think leaning towards that, you could start just, never really finishing anything.
Alex, I haven't really heard an artist on Strike a Chord in a long time that says, like, I'm constantly revisiting my music. Like, I'm never satisfied. Was that like a hard thing to kind of like pull the plug and go like, okay, enough's enough. It's good as it is.
Yeah, like once we had everything tracked, there was some moments where I was like, oh, like maybe I could have done this differently, maybe I could have done that differently. But yeah, it's just like that's where I really like rely on like being in a band. You have those other filters that help make those decisions. So if I'm indecisive about something, I could consult with David and Elliot, and they will kind of help, give me the confirmation bias that I need or don't need.
Badass. No, I think that's so cool. And I know we're actually going to be playing a visualizer from you. The music video is called There She Goes. Is that a track that's going to be on this debut LP, or is that just only for the EP?
That was just we released like a handful of singles. That was 2021.
Gotcha. So this was like kind of pandemic era, kind of like to tease like the fans about what Wakelee is all about.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's that one. It won't be on the album. I think the stuff on the albums, I like it way more than There She Goes, but that's like kind of the whole point, right? You're supposed to constantly be getting better. So
that's right. And let's take a journey back in time. We're going to be playing your music video right now on the Chris Collins Show Millennial Talk Show, and this track is called There She Goes.
Let's do it.
Closing
that's what's good. That is Wakelee's single. You can actually find that on all streaming services. That track is called There She Goes. And Alex, we want to say thank you again for joining Strike a Chord, and remind your new fans, the CCS family, where they can pre-order your self-titled LP.
Yeah, thank you both for having me on. You can pre-order it at wakeleemusic.com. Comes out April 14th. We're very excited, and I think everybody's going to like it.
Hey, absolutely, Alex. I think you got something very special in store. And, man, when the album drops, we got to talk, man. I'd love to dive even deeper with your music. Maybe a potential future Off the Fret music podcast episode might be in the works. I like it, Alex. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you again for joining the show, brother. And for everybody that's on the Chris Collins Show Millennial Talk Show right now, stick around as we got more left on the show. All right, we'll keep this briefly, but we always like to end the show off on a positive note because there's so much negativities on channels 2 through 11. So Marissa and I, we like to set the tone and let you, the CCS family, know what's good. So on Monday morning at State Farm Stadium, there wasn't a single cheering Chiefs fan or a sobbing Eagles supporter in sight. But what happens to all that leftover food? Well, that's where the Food Recovery Network comes in. An estimated over 140,000 pounds of leftover food is generated by the Super Bowl every year, and the FRN recovered about 3,000 pounds of leftover food not going into waste, actually being reused from the players' tailgate event. So that's like the equivalent of 2,500 individual meals and about 1,000 pounds more than last year's effort. So we really wanted to highlight that because obviously, with the pandemic, we have been seeing the rise of food insecurity across the nation. And so having an organization like Food Recovery Network tackling this problem is it's God's gift. I love it. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And we also want to give another shout out again to Alex and his band, Wakelee. You can start pre-ordering your track, right? Or not track, the self-titled LP for Wakelee on their website, wakelee.com. And we also want to let you guys in on our next week's guest. So we are thrilled to announce the upcoming interview with a UK band. They're called The Now. So with hit songs like Rewind and The Devil Inside Me, which actually just premiered their music video last night, they have established themselves as one of the hottest UK bands across the pond, and we're excited to bring them into the mix. And don't forget to check out my music podcast, Off the Fret, more music talk, featuring Poe the Passenger, out now on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you like what you're listening to, go to thechriscollinsshow.com and become a member today and get that free CCS t-shirt. And also, I'm kind of excited because I know I just been hyping up Poe the Passenger. They actually have their brand new single that's out today that was written by an AI system. And that song's called Horizon. You can check that out on all streaming services. And I might as well plug this in as I got 30 seconds left. Our 8th installment of Off the Fret, more music talk, is with country star Amanda Cooksey. So keep a lookout this week as it will be dropping on our YouTube channel. For now, enjoy the weekend, fam, and I'll see you next week. Peace. What's good? It's Chris from the Chris Collins Show Millennial Talk Show, featuring alternative pop rock band Poe the Passenger, amassing over 1 million streams with their debut LP, Alinea, joins Off the Fret. More music talk. What's good, party people? Chris Collins Show presents Music Storm 2022, hosted by Chris Collins and Marissa Pitts, featuring Royals, Hurricane Highway, Cannibal Kids, Amanda Cooksey, Astoria State, Kid Dad, Resounding, Sleep Cycles, Avenues, Freckles, Weather Worn, Just True, Sophia Marie, Music Storm 2022. Available wherever you listen to podcasts. Our brand new podcast, Off the Fret.
I love it. It's more time to chat. Hello.
You would look
Can you
so
hear me?
jazzy.
I love your outfit.
How far would you go to start playing live music again? This slaps harder than my ex when she got her stimulus check. So,
are you here to bring the sexual healing with your music?
called Everything is Everything, and I guarantee you're going to hear this song in the future. I love the flow, man. Politically charged album. So if you get easily offended, this might not be the album for you. Brand new podcast, Off the Fret.
So excited.
Has Kim Kardashian accidentally sent you a coochie shot?
Do you want to stay there? It's completely your choice. Or you want to...
I feel you. And you know what? I love it. Off the Fret. More music talk. Peace.